Hello and welcome back to Vintage Gaming Memories. If you like what you see, please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. I appreciate all the support. And now let's get right into this. A few weeks ago, I put out a video on a game called Power Pigskin. This is by Regency Electronics. In that video, I mentioned that I hope to collect all 3 of the sports games that they put out. Well, it looks like I'm a man of my word. And here we got it. That's right. We got computer baseball and Harlem Globetrotters basketball. So what I love about this company and their games is that they made it look just like the game itself. So we here have the football game, as we know, and the baseball, and then the basketball. Well, since we already talked about the football game a few weeks ago, let's put that one aside. And let's start with the baseball one. The official name is Computer Baseball. Yeah, it seems pretty boring when you realize the football one was called Power Pigskin, and this basketball one here is called Harlem Globetrotters basketball. I guess the marketing team was off that day, but anyways, all 3 of these games were out in 1979, so that's 44 years ago. And I got this computer baseball one with the box, which is right over here. Let me move the basketball one out of the way. So here is the box that came with it, along with instructions. The box is kind of beat up, but it's not ripped apart. It's just kind of scrunched. It has the plastic case or holder in there to hold it in place. Nothing else to look in there, but it's got a Kmart price tag of $9.88. Might be original.
You sure about that?
Maybe not. Got some details on how to pitch or what options you have for pitching, which we'll go over quickly, and then a lot of stuff showing here on the actual game itself, which is probably more, well, maybe it's accurate. I say it's accurate enough. When I go through this, you'll see how pretty easy it is. It may look kind of intimidating at first. That's about it, I guess. Let's jump right in. I got this from eBay, and I would probably say the only flaws, I think it picks up on the camera here, is that it has a little bit of discoloration on it. It's got a little bit of yellowing. And this is even after I've cleaned it, and I cleaned it inside and out. And when I say inside, I mean I opened this thing up and cleaned it and checked it as well, as I did with all 3 of these games. But it does have some yellowing in the cracks, I guess, between the top and the bottom of the case. Now I've gone ahead and tried a little bit of the magic eraser, which does help, but you got to be careful so you don't put too much pressure, which will actually start to dull the plastic. I've also used some Novus cleaner and just basic cleaners as well, but it's gotten a lot better than what it was originally, so I'm okay with it. I mean, this is acceptable looking in its current condition. Now, it takes, in the back here is the battery compartment. It has the actual sticker still in place, which is nice to see, which has the instructions and then about the battery installation itself, not the instructions of the game. And we'll see how that looks in here. It is immaculate, and that's pretty much the color it should be. So you could see it did change with the elements. No corrosion at all on the battery terminals, which is nice. And then there's your speaker on the bottom. It's all plastic, nothing rubber. Pretty basic on the switches here, on and off. Auto, manual, batter button. And then over here, you have its pitching controls. Very similar to the, I guess, the Coleco's head-to-head baseball, and also Entech's electronic baseball is very similar with that. Kind of gives you the 2-player head-to-head feel. So let's go put some batteries in this and give a good run-through on it. Okay, we have the batteries put in, and let's just do a quick talk about the options on here. As I mentioned, this is the on and off switch. And this auto, man is the manual or auto. Auto will be for a 1-player game. You play against the computer. Man is manual, where you have the option to pitch and play on the defensive side. Batting is this batter's button. That's all you have to do. It's pretty simple. Your goal is to follow the path of the ball from the pitcher to home plate, and that's the batter's box. And you have to make sure you push that batter button once the ball's at home plate. Actually, it's slightly in front of it because there's not an image right at home plate to where the ball would show up. It actually has an image of the bat swinging, so they can't put both images. It's either the bat or the ball. So you kind of have to guess it just right at that same time and press the batter button, and then you'll get contact with the ball, assuming it goes through the strike zone. And if you don't swing at a pitch, just like in baseball, it will be considered a strike or a ball, depending on how the computer determines that pitch was crossing the plate. So it is going to be computer umpired. So you really don't have an idea until it actually tells you. Obviously, a swing and a miss is a strike. And if you make contact, then the computer randomly determines whether it was a hit or an out. Playing two players and being the team on the field, you do have some options with your defense, specifically with the outfielders, the left center or right fielder. Being that this is all random, I guess if you position your left fielder and then the computer randomly determines that the ball is going to go to left field, then it'd be a sure out since you positioned it prior to the hit or prior to the pitch. Now, if you didn't do anything like that and the ball went to left field, then it's kind of a chance whether the left fielder actually catches it or not. And then once you determine whether or not it's your left center or right fielder you're going to position on defense, then you can choose your pitch. And you have the typical pitches. You have fast, slow, curve, slider, and then a changeup, which is a combination button. So basically for the changeup, you start off with the slow, and then as the ball gets near the plate, you hit the changeup button and it'll speed up. So that's kind of cool to do that. We'll see how that looks. There's no extra innings. The basic rules of baseball with visitors up first. You get 3 outs per team at bat, 3 strikes per out, 4 balls a walk, and even foul balls are possible in this game. And the scoreboard, as that was shown on the box, had a lot of information, but that really is the key to this, to determine who's at bat, what inning you're in, what's the score, what's your strike, balls, and outs. And then, of course, what happens when the ball is hit, whether it's an error, triple, home run, double, single, fly out to left, center, right, and then, of course, where your base runners are. So let's turn this on and get some bats and pitches in. And hopefully the sound isn't too loud, but we'll check this out. That's Take Me Out to the Ball Game in the shortest form. And right now, you can see the flashing visitor light. I have it on auto, meaning 1-player game. Hit the batter's button, that will start the game. Here it goes. I'll let the first one go by. And that's a ball. You see the light lit up next to the B for ball? That's a strike. It's a 1-1 count. That's another ball. 2 balls, no 1 strike. 2-2. Let me try to hit this one. Nope, I missed it. 1 out. Strike. I hit it. Let's see where it goes. To shortstop. It's another out. 2 outs. Another swing and a hit. Contact. Double. The double light lit up. My runner now is on second base. Again, here's the scoreboard. 0-1-0. 0-0 is the score. Inning is the one in the middle for 1. Okay, so let's try a 2-player mode just so I can give you a little bit of a glimpse on the pitching side. So we'll go to manual, turn it on. I'll open this up. Try to do this upside down. And you can see the visitor light is blinking. Until the batter hits the button, it won't be ready yet for me to position my defense. So let's hit the batter button. We have the scoreboard. And then you see left is lit up, which is the defense positioning for my outfield. If I hit the change up / fielder button here, it will move from left to center. and then to right. So however I want to position my player on defense, we'll say keep it to center. And let's do a fastball. I won't swing at it. That's pretty good. Let's do a changeup. So I'll go slow and then I hit the change button to see it speed up before it hits home plate. A little bit of a speed up at the end, kind of neat. And I'll do a curveball. That was an out. It was a perfect curveball right down the middle, I guess. So it's one out. And let's do a slider. There's a slider. That was a ball. If I do a slider again, it could be a strike, like that one. So again, it's all randomized, computer generated as far as the pitch goes, whether it's a strike or a ball. And obviously, if you hit it, whether it's going to be a hit or an out. So strategy really, not much strategy in the game, I guess, because you can be pitching it. Fastball probably is a guaranteed strike. Yeah. But the other pitches are not guaranteed strikes. They could or could not be, depending upon the computer, if it wants to call it a ball or strike. Let's look at the next game. Okay, so now we're looking at the Harlem Globetrotters basketball. First thing you notice, or at least I notice, is it's not firm, solid when it's resting on its back. Why? Well, it's like a basketball, right? I mean, there's nothing, it's all smooth, curved. So unlike the baseball, which has little legs on the bottom to make it stable, because you would want that because you're going to be playing head-to-head possibly, and you want to be able to have it nice and firm while it's on the table. Well, this game, nope. So that's one thing. Condition-wise, a really good condition. I like it. There's really not much to complain about it. Let's see colorful. Harlem Globetrotters, I love that. And then it's also a 4 AA battery compartment. Very clean as well. No corrosion, really. Speakers right in the bottom as the others were. Instructions also for how to insert a battery. And then the controls themselves. A little bit more handheld format, which I like. So let's talk a little bit how to play this game. For this basketball game, it's a 1 to 2 player game. The objective of the game is for you, the offensive player, to maneuver around the 5 defensive players that the computer controls. And then you have to get a good shot at the basket to make your points. Basically 2 points per basket made. Now the game is made up of 4 15-minute quarters, which is really about 2.5 minutes in real-time play. And at the end of each quarter, you'll hear a buzzard sound. There is a 24-second clock, but it's not like the traditional sense of basketball with a 24-second clock. Instead, each team has a maximum of 24 seconds to score as often as possible, or before turning it over to the other team by having it stolen, or perhaps if it goes out of bounds when you take a shot and hits the backboard. Now, there are red lights that will indicate who has possession of the ball on the court here, on the bottom left or right. If it's on the left, obviously it's the home team. On the right, it's the visitor. And with the start of the quarters, the first and the third quarter, the visitor always gets the ball to start the quarter. And then in the second and the fourth quarters, the home team gets the ball. All right, enough of those rules. Let's play some basketball. So when you turn this on, you have a choice of skill level between 1 and 2 right here. And obviously you can't switch skill level during the game, or else you turn it off since you have to pass the switch through the off position. So let's turn this on to skill 1, which is an easier level. And as you can see here, you are that bright red dot on the bottom right corner, the visitor side. That's who has possession. And again, as I mentioned earlier, first and third quarters, the visitor starts off with the ball. And the second and fourth quarter, the home team gets it. So that's you. The 5 other dots you see on the court is the computer on the defensive side. You see 15 in the middle there. That's how many minutes for that quarter. Obviously, it's not 15 true minutes. What else? If I press a directional button, the clock will change to the 24-second clock, and it'll count down, and you'll hear clicking noises as it gets to it. And then the defensive players will be moving to try to get in your way for a clear line of sight shot. And that's exactly what you need, a clear line of sight shot to the basket. So you need to move your player around on the court and make sure that you don't have a defender between you and the basket before you press the S button here, which is to shoot. If you do have a defender there, you run a chance of having it blocked. And if you do have a clear line of sight to the basket and you shoot it and you make it successfully, you'll hear a little trumpet sound. And I think the basket will light up as well, and you get your 2 points. And then you take the ball back out because you keep going until 24 seconds on the clock has elapsed. So you have 24 seconds to score as many points as possible. There are also these 3 other keys that make this basketball game different and more Harlem Globetrotter-like. There is a TL, a TR, and an LP button. So the T in the TL and the T in the TR stands for trick. So the trick shot left, trick shot right. And then the LP is a long pass. Now the trick shot buttons, you have to be in a particular position in the 3rd row in order for it to work. I'll show you both positions, an example of it when we play. And then the LP button, well, that one there, it's the long pass. So you have to be kind of like in the 3rd row and have a defender in front of you, which you can't pass through. If you hit the LP button, you'll actually be able to jump over and get past that defender and be closer to the basket for a better shot. And I'll also give you an example of that as well. So let's go ahead and try each of these shots, starting with the basic shot, which is the S button. And let me move my player here. Let's see if I can get an example of one. You hear the clicking. Clock is clicking at 24 seconds. The defenders are, there we go. That's a basket. So that's one. Let me do a trick shot left. That's another one. That one perfect. Let's do a long pass. There you go. Three of them in a row. That's great. So I got 6 points, and I got 9. Let's get this thing expire to 0. And let's see if the score shows 6. Okay, so now the home team has the ball. My 24-second clock expired, and you could see 13 minutes is left in the quarter. So that was 2 minutes that just went by, which obviously was not 2 minutes in real time. If I press the down position here, it gives me the score, 6-0, 13 minutes left. So that's how that works. Pretty cool game. I mean, you go back and forth. Obviously, no one's playing defense. The computer's playing defense. But it gets harder on skill level 2. Skill level 1 wasn't too bad. But you do need to try to race against the clock to get as many points as possible on your turn, because you only have 15 minutes a quarter, and they do go by fast. I think it's, like I said, 2.5 minutes probably for the whole game. So pretty cool game. I think that covers it for the Harlem Globetrotters basketball game. I really like this basketball game, not because it's just, different looking on the outside, but also the game itself is pretty cool. It's very different, the concept, and I think it's you add some kind of uniqueness to the actual game of basketball. So now that we've covered baseball, basketball, and then a few weeks ago we took care of this football game, all from Regency Electronics. I'd like to know what you all think. Comment below and let me know how all these sports games, or just in general, in your opinion, from Regency Electronics would stack up to other vintage sports games that you might have played or perhaps seen. There's Coleco, there's Mattel, there's Entech. There's a lot of other companies that have made sporting games similar, or at least conceptually similar to basketball, baseball, or football. But in my opinion, I think these pretty much are unique. I mean, it stands up with their physical appearance. They're very different. They all look like the game. Play of the one of them is the pretty cool. The basketball one I thought was very unique. I mean, I have not played a basketball game like that before. Obviously, the baseball and the football, I've seen similar ones from other manufacturers, but that one was definitely unique, and I give it a thumbs up. Overall, I think this is definitely collectible worthy in my book. So thanks again for watching. And remember, keep your gaming passion from the past alive by living it today. Take care, everyone.